Whether it's fighting demons with a small cat or trying to use a Swiss Army knife to stab a large one, this episode is sure to please all the feline fans out there. Welcome to the Thirsty Mage, the video game podcast with a backlog. Oh man, I deleted what I was supposed to say there. I had a quip. Maybe I should just leave this in now. I was workshopping quips and apparently forgot what I was doing and left it off. So I mean that gives you the Thirsty Mage experience. I'm David Lloyd, and I'm here with my co-host, the YouTube provocateur Paige Chamberlain.
Again, it took me. I'm like, what did I provoke? And then I'm like, yes, all the fashion game fans.
Yeah, my daughter was one of them. She's like, did Paige play the game? And yeah, did Paige like the game? Nope. She's like, what?
I mean, I did see a couple cool things before I returned my game. Someone cosplayed as Ness.
Oh yeah.
And like their name was even Psy, like the PSI. Because they were Japanese, and someone was Nurse Joy, so that was like, that was a fun little thing to see before I was done with it.
Yeah, I have no idea what she's doing in it, but I know she's enjoying it because like it's the only game she's played since it's come out. She's probably got like tens of hours into it. It's like ridiculous. I also I meant to send a message to Rebecca about she was playing the game and I gave her game code to my daughter, and then it's under like I had bought the game under my profile.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like my name is coming up wherever she's playing because there's like the online thing, right?
Yeah.
so I know
sent you this outfit.
Well, no, that's but the funny thing is that for some reason, and she couldn't even explain to me why, because she had picked this name before. She had picked her character's name is Rebecca. Okay. And I just happened to notice a few days ago where I was looking over and I'm like, wait a minute, why are you using that name? And she said, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I gave you that code for the writer to Nintendo Force, and I hope she's not getting the wrong idea here. I'm gonna have to let her know that it's my daughter playing, and I don't know why she chose that name. So if Rebecca's out there listening to this episode, yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. I have not played the game. It wasn't me.
Sure.
Yeah, but no, she's enjoying it. So I'll have to. I don't know if she's. I don't think I've shown her your video yet, though. But I did tell her. I did tell her some of your beefs with it, and she understood. Though she agreed that some of the things that were missing she would have liked, but
yeah. But no, it's very funny because I did end up finishing the game before I turned it, but not before I made my video. Where I normally, obviously, with a read, normally finish the game, but I was just like, heck this. but then it was literally just the next rank and credits, and you don't even get anything for that level, which was weird because there are 4 areas, but I guess you got to get the next one.
Yeah.
But because no one had reviews because there was no pre-release codes, and I was seeing all these negative Google reviews of people who can't return the game. So I'm like, okay, I got to make this video because otherwise other people are gonna feel like they wasted their money. And got over like 10,000 views now, and a bunch of comments just telling me that I shouldn't compare a game to the previous work of the devs because it's not the same series. So, I can't hold them to any standards apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like when Square makes like another RPG, and I guess the example would be like Deerfield Chronicle. It'd be like I think it would be fair to question like if Deerfield Chronicle had bad RPG mechanics, I think it would be fair to say, hey, why did you have bad RPG mechanics? You're literally known as the RPG company. Yeah. No, I think it's fair. It just goes to show you that controversy is what gets you the clicks, though.
Yeah,
The sad
apparently.
part, eh?
I need to be
Yeah.
more of a hater, I guess.
That's right. Need to
If I,
dump on more games to get those clicks.
yeah, just every couple of videos that'll get 'em. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we've been playing a lot of games this month. Too many. A lot of games came out about a week ago, actually.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Many of which were RPGs. So yeah, there's Persona 5 Tactica, Super Mario RPG, and Small Saga, which is only on PC at the moment. They're all the same day and they're all RPGs, and I'm sure there was some other games I don't know about.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I've only played a couple hours of Small Saga because I was working on a review game and I didn't. I was trying to finish it all before the 17th, but like there was like a glitch that got patched like the next day. But so I put it down for a couple of days. So I spent my whole weekend trying to get that game finished. But I did play about 2 hours of Small Saga, which apparently is about like maybe almost a third of the runtime. So from what I've heard, and that is by Dara. I can't pronounce that, but it's by a co-creator of Aviary Attorney. I don't know if you've played that.
Oh no.
No, so it's like it's like very much like a rip on Ace Attorney, but really cool art style. Because if you look it up, it's like all the illustrated kind of almost sort of looks like old newspaper illustration, like really old ones. Like I don't mean to
Oh,
point,
yeah, I'm
you know.
looking at it. It's like
Yeah,
yeah, like a 19th century newspaper,
yeah,
like books, like that kind of
yeah.
like yeah.
And it was really funny. And so they've been working on their own game now, which is a turn-based RPG where you are a little mouse, and you at the start of the game you lose your brother to the yellow god, and you lose your tail because you get caught in a mouse trap and have to cut it off, basically. And you find a god tool because the gods are the humans of this world, because we are like bipedal rodents and such creatures wearing little medieval type clothes while also still having a lot of modern stuff, but don't worry about it. I mean, it's set in the modern world, it's just that the society underneath is a bit less modern. Except for when I walked into the fashion store and saw the Drip King.
Oh,
He,
right.
he was definitely very modern. He was like, but yeah, so the main thing is, yeah, you're just on a vengeance quest against this yellow god. And yeah, the god tools are just like the human tools. So you are a mouse wielding a pocket knife. And then you're trying to get more information, trying to find him. So you come across, like, the first thing you do after that is you pick in a fight with a cat who just like bats you out of the house, basically. And then you come across Siobhan, whose name I had to look up how to pronounce because it's Irish. So I was like, oh, this is definitely not what it looks like.
Oh yeah.
Because it's spelled like Siobhan or something. So it's, yeah, Siobhan. And she's the little mole noble lady with that little medieval pointy hat thing. And she uses a Bic lighter, basically.
Oh
That's her
yeah.
god tool. So she can do fire attacks. Yeah, because the game's kind of standard turn-based RPG combat, where it's the one where you've got sort of like little action points. So some skills will use 2 points or 3, and you just get one per turn. So if you want to get more because you used a bunch, you've got to use like buffs or rest or stuff like that for a turn. But one of the really cool things when I was doing the combat, so I've got a multi-hit attack where it sort of jumps up in the air and it comes back down, and it's like multi-hit for one target, but the target died partway through the attack. So when it came back down, it actually auto went to another target and hit him. So the entire like half the attack didn't go to waste.
Well, that's good.
And I was like really surprised by that because I'm like, I don't think I've seen that in a game. Like obviously it's not like the first Final Fantasy where like if someone dies before it's your turn,
everyone attacks the
it's
air.
yeah, no, it's the individual turns. But I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen a game where it's like you're doing multiple hits to a single target, and if they're gone, it'll move to the next one. So that I was very, very impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely the main highlight of this is the writing. It's very funny, and it's got really nice pixel art style too. One of the first things I saw was that like the cool S in the graffiti, which I thought was funny. But like I said, I walked into a fashion store and there's a guy called Drip King, and he's in like that kind of meme outfit with the big shoes and the puffer jacket and the Supreme shirt. And at one time, I walked into someone's house and they're complaining about their rent, and then I go to their chest and take their seeds, and they say something like, you're great at robbing people, you should be a landlord.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so, and there's heaps of references too. Like, I was at the castle, and there's a guy who looks like, I don't know, the onion guy from Dark Souls, whatever the big fat one's called.
Oh yeah.
Like, just straight up, like, it's like a big mouse that's that. And you go into and there's like paintings in the castle, and they're like, the girl with the pearl earring, but it's like a weasel or something else like that, and like some other beam things. And I think one of the, I like walked into a mimic, and I was like, I kind of knew it was going to be one, because like I walk into a room and there's a treasure chest and cobwebs. So when I open it, there's a spider inside the chest. But yeah, I really love the presentation, because it's got that sort of, your characters are in the foreground to the left a bit, and then the guys are in the background to the right a bit. So you get like really cool perspectives. Especially like you're fighting all these like really like a cat and things much bigger than you. Like I fought a little octopus in the sewers, but it wasn't so little to me, you know. Yeah, so I really like the combat style. Apparently they've adjusted it recently too, because apparently the later game was a bit too easy. So now I'm like, damn, I should have
I should have
finished it
got
early.
through quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've seen some. I haven't gotten to them, but I've seen some other things where you're fighting like those like 2000s robot pet toys, where they had a very like certain vibe of them. That's a fight, and like it's
Oh
next to like there's like sort of squirrel and some military gear. So I'm thinking that's like their secret military weapon or something. I'm not.
yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely very like it's set in like London, and it's very UK. Because like we've got the Irish mole like Siobhan. You come across a Scottish squirrel, so it's all a lot of that, and some of their dialogue, which I can mostly understand. I think the Scottish squirrel said the one thing, and I looked it up, and I was like, okay, I could kind of get that through context.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. Just looking at all the screenshots, I don't know if you've ever seen The Great Mouse Detective.
No.
No, it's for the old folks out there. When I was a kid, there was this cartoon. It was basically kind of a riff on Sherlock Holmes, where there's like there's mice that kind of represent the characters like Holmes and Watson, but it all looks just like this, because like it all takes place in like the human world. Like they're everything's big, but they're like real people. It's all based in London too, so it's all the same vibe and everything. And the main
So,
character is Ratigan, who's a rat, and he's supposed to kind of be like Moriarty, I guess, but it looks just like this. So there's this big scene where they have a fight in a toy store, and they use like these toy mouse as the like soldiers and stuff, and it's just it looks just like this. It's
so what you're
incredible.
saying is you want to get this game?
I might like it's really bringing back those vibes of it's a great movie to watch, like even now. Like it's, well, I don't know, it might have, I don't know if maybe it hasn't aged well. I haven't seen it in a while,
Yeah.
but Vincent Price is the voice of the villain.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently the game is about maybe 8ish hours at the most. So it's kind of a good little one to in between all these other longer RPGs.
That's funny this November to like these, because
Yeah.
we'll have an episode later on a game, almost like an 8 hour game that's heavy on the rating as well, with in Stars and Time, and it's yeah, just a
I
funny
will
time.
have to tell you one thing. I think we were lied to about the runtime of that game.
Oh, is it longer than 8 hours? Oh no.
It is, yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was on purpose, because it's saying like the dev likes to play on people's expectations and stuff, because it's like the code, it's like 8 to 10 hours, and it's like it took me 20 hours.
Holy, okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that. No wonder. It was
that,
funny because
that's why I was like spending my weekend trying to like
get through it.
get through it because I was like, oh, this is longer than I thought. Yeah.
I'm not surprised because the stuff, because it was funny because last night I had, I guess I don't want to spoil too much, but I had gotten past a certain point, and then it was like, oh well, like find this, this, and this, and that should like clear things up, or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I found them all, and then I did the thing, and then like all these other things opened up, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? I'm like, I guess I'm not as close as I thought. And then I
Yeah.
went on to YouTube to get like a let's play or something, and then I got to the point where I am, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, why am I only halfway through this person's video, but we're at the same spot?
Mm.
So yeah, that answers a lot of questions there, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like speechless because I made some like mistakes or ran out of the resources, even though I had like a heap, just because I messed up a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so you know, like not to spoil it too much, but it's a bit more time.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we have that booked in another couple weeks then, so I can get that done.
Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, definitely fun. I did want to play some more because I was finally free with not making videos to play some more, like on my computer time to myself. But then I was like, oh, I need to play some more Persona 5 Tactica because we're going to talk about that. And I was only like an hour and a half into the game, so
Oh, yeah.
now I'm 4.5.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so we were talking beforehand, and I think we're
Pretty
around the
much the
same.
same point.
Yeah,
So
about
we
that 4 to
haven't
5
gotten to
hour.
the first boss fight, but we're maybe close-ish. So what were your thoughts on Persona 5 Tactica before you picked it up? Because I thought
So
you weren't
my
going to get
thoughts
it.
were, I was only interested in picking it up because it was on Game Pass. So
Ah,
kudos
right.
to
Yes,
them
yes, yes,
for putting that there because I really don't think I would have played it had I not. I was giving it the benefit of the doubt in the sense that when Mario Rabbids was announced, I was like, that game's gonna suck, and I wasn't planning on. I wasn't gonna get it at all, and I think I ended up getting it as a review for NWR back in the day, and I was like, that one just kind of blew out my expectations because I really enjoyed Mario Rabbids. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll give Atlas the benefit here, and we'll get in and play. I definitely like the thing with Persona 5 is like when you play 100 hours of the main story, anything else after just it, like I don't know if I've like fatigued from, like, if it's not the main story, then what's the point? Because this takes starts so this game takes place after, I guess. It wasn't really clear how long after, but
I think it's after you've beaten the base game content, but like
yeah.
before Joker goes home. But but I think it's before Royal content, maybe because the Royal characters are in the DLC, and apparently the DLC takes place earlier than the
Oh, I was wondering
than
because I
this
don't even
does.
remember seeing. I don't think they
Which is
mentioned
kind of
Kasumi
disappointing
or anything.
because I only liked Akechi in the third semester. So it's not the same, but it's just like,
Yeah, that's true.
um, yeah. But how does so like if you bought DLC because you buy DLC for a game you have in Game Pass and then it would still work as long as it's on Game Pass because like you wouldn't get the DLC on Pass, but like you could
No,
buy
there's
you could buy
Game Pass
DLC
does
for
this
a
weird.
game you don't actually
Well,
own, and it
yeah,
would
like you
work.
so because I know for other games what they've done is you could there's like sometimes they have a package where it's like, well, if you buy the DLC, then you get the game like 3 days early, and you get access to the DLC, and you load the game as if you own it.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming like when you buy the DLC, it's just applied to the game.
yeah. Because all
So
I know
yeah.
about the day one bloody $30 DLC is that it's sort of got a separate menu, so it's not connected to the main plot.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's their way around it then. Is you have to open that to use it at all, and then that way it's kind of segmented away from the Game Pass. It was
I
funny the
don't know.
day it came out. I couldn't even find it in Game Pass. I kind of had to go through my app and bring it up, and then like it wasn't showing up on the console for some reason. But I eventually got it on there and played a bit of it the first like at midnight or whatever when it was supposed to be available. So, but yeah, like it's so the it doesn't the story's pretty separate. Like the game starts off with a little cinema scene where they're conversing at LeBlanc, and there's a news story about this politician that's gone missing, and I think they even mentioned like I think the Phantom Thieves are kind of talking amongst themselves like, hey, should we be concerned about this guy that's missing or something? And then all of a sudden they're just kind of inexplicably sucked into this other world that's very very much like their world. They don't even really know that they're in the metaverse,
Yeah,
or a version of it. I guess they're kind of in this other completely other dimension, which I guess is their kind of rationale behind their powers not working the way they're supposed to.
yeah, yeah. Because they're not as strong. I think.
Yeah,
I think it's the whole we're now level 1 again or whatever,
yeah,
and Joker can only have like one extra persona, but
yeah,
everyone else can have one extra persona. Like he can't. It's like a sub persona. So I think it's like you get their little abilities, but it's not like you swap them in and out. You're still based on your original persona or your type wise, I guess.
yeah,
So that's kind of cool that the other characters get a bit more versatility.
yeah. It's still kind of demon light though because each persona only has like two abilities.
Yeah,
I think there's like a passive and then an actual move.
yeah. And then there's the
So
skill tree,
yeah.
which confuses me because I like click on it and then it's suddenly saying like I guess because you can untick stuff on the skill tree. So then I've been doing that without realizing it and getting confused. It won't let me buy some things when I have the
Oh, really?
points. Yeah. So I'm just going to start going with auto assign or something. So then because I don't know what's going on with that. I am kind of like I like the Persona Fusion though, with like it's in the foundry or smithy or what do you
Yeah,
call
it's
it?
so the Velvet Room is in this game. No Igor, but Lavenza is managing things. She also got sucked into the world. She doesn't really know what's
And
going on
she's
either.
also making the weapons.
Yeah, she's also yeah. Oh, what's his name? Akai? Like no, what's the
Yeah, yeah. I
the
thought,
Yakuza man?
yeah,
He didn't get sucked in, so yeah, Lavenza had to
no,
take over making the weapons. But yeah, it's the Velvet Room is. I guess it would be kind of reminiscent of like a steampunkish kind of 19th century factory, like yeah, like kind of like a foundry or an iron smithy or something,
yeah.
where it's like all these
She's
gears
she's
and
she's got the little welder mask and everything.
yeah,
It's cute.
yeah, and
I like
I
when they
like
do different stuff because in the I
yeah,
think PQ2 it was like the cinema, so they were like combining film reels together. It's,
yeah,
yeah, so fun stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I was interested, and I'm not sick of Persona 5. I was literally like, man, I could play Persona 5 again, and I'm like, Tactics is coming out next month. Just play that, like, just
yeah.
I'm not too sick of them yet.
No, I like the characters. Like I still enjoy the characters. It's more. I was a little concerned that the story was just gonna feel like filler.
Yeah, I think. Well, I know one of the worst spin-offs was the dancing game where it's all a dream and it's just one night, and obviously people weren't like at their bare minimum personalities. But I think this is good because I've gotten to know Haru a lot more than I ever did playing the game, even when I did spend more time with her in my royal playthrough.
Oh yeah,
So I got to know her a bit better, and they're at least all past their main personal quests, like not the royal stuff, obviously, but so they are a bit more developed and not overly gimmicky. They're still like being mean to Ryuji, but
some things are
although
timeless.
Morgana's back to the "I'm not a cat" thing too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you notice it felt like Makoto wasn't saying as much?
yeah. So far,
Yeah, I
Although
don't know
I
if.
don't mind that not everybody has to say something in regards to everything. That is nice to not.
Yeah,
And I really like the art style too. I mean, I'm not super a fan of like the whole no noses thing when it comes to these kind of
yeah,
designs.
especially
It's
the
just
main villain. It kind of looks kind of funny with no
it's
nose.
just giving like Bratstall vibes, really, especially her. But I do like that it's like semi chibi, but still a bit elongated. So it's like not the Persona Q style, but similar.
Hmm.
But I like it because probably helps the game run better on the Switch than
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah. But I wasn't one of the people that wasn't interested in it. I think it looks nice, and I really like Arena, who's like one of the two, aside from the villains, obviously, but like one of the two, new Phantom Thieves for the spin off that we seem to be get. Well, I don't think they've been calling us. They're different because Arena can't have a persona and things like that, so they're not actually part of the Phantom Thieves, but they're
Yeah.
in the group anyway.
I'm
They're working
assuming
together.
I'm assuming so far she can't use a persona. I'm
Yeah,
thinking a
maybe.
persona's coming,
Well, that's it. It
but
could
yeah,
be a big story thing, probably.
but she can
But
use arts. She can still use magic. Like she still
yes.
uses the arts. And I think she's light. She's a light user.
Mm. I have to find it, but I'll show you something in a little bit because it's like the PC where it's the the key the keys for the things, and it's like F for this or yeah,
Oh
all that.
yeah,
Have you seen the
yeah,
farts? Yeah.
yeah,
But I really like Irina's character design. Actually, I thought I wasn't gonna like her as a personality, but she's great. And
yeah,
I'm like, probably not going to, but I was like, man, I kind of want to cosplay her, but that's such an expensive hobby, even compared to collecting and buying videos. It's like,
yeah.
so much money and time for
I was
like,
gonna say a lot of time too,
for
because
what,
some of
take
those.
pictures, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's got like the whole night leg, like the night armor leg I really like.
yeah.
But yeah, so
I like
far,
when they first meet too, and she's like, they're all friendly, and then she kind of turns for a
yeah,
minute and
she's
like,
like,
unless you're spies.
yeah, yeah, she's good. So far I was wondering, oh, maybe it's too easy because I'm playing on normal, and it was like I beat because you've got like the try to beat this in this many turns. Like you don't have to, but it's like I think you maybe get a little bonus. And I beat one 8 turn thing in 3, and I'm like, oh, is this game a bit too easy? Should I look it up? And then like the next two, I was like just over the turn limit, or people are getting like knocked out right next to the finish line, like when there's only a couple enemies left, or when we're like literally like trying to run away one.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, really? Now I don't have the 3 ticks you got. Like you just it was so close because you can baton pass characters in because you can only have 3 party members, which was like weird to me. But I think how much is it in Rabbids? 3 or 4?
it's only 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's really weird to me. I guess it's just smaller maps and stuff. But I was just like, that's when you've got so many characters, that seems odd. But you can baton pass when they get knocked out to bring them in, and then they get a bonus if they weren't in the last battle. So they have slightly better stats if you cycle them, and then obviously it's all one individual level. So it's just trying to make sure everyone has their expensive guns, I guess.
yeah.
Remembering to put sub personas on them. But yeah, there's no you can switch an in out before battles or mid battle if someone decides to die in one more turn before the last.
Yeah. The thing I find that I have to keep reminding myself is when you do a physical attack, you actually throw like when you hit
Yes.
them, they fly off, and it's basically like depending on the angle that you hit, they'll go like they'll fly in a straight
Yeah.
line to wherever, so you can knock them into other characters or other enemies. And but
Yeah.
I was like early on anyway, I kept hitting my own characters because I kept forgetting. It's like, oh, that was Morgana way over there. Like, sorry about that, Morgana.
Have you been doing any of the quests, which are like the side challenges?
Uh I don't think so. Like I just been doing the missions, so I
Okay,
don't.
because there's one that's really about practicing that because you have to get arena to the end in one turn. So when you knock someone down, it's once more. So you're basically trying to like knock multiple guys down so you can get to the exit in one turn. So
Oh, okay, yeah, I
that
didn't
took
do
me a
that
few
one.
tries, and yeah, there's a few like practicing the triple threat thing, which is when if you knock someone down, and you guys are in like a triangle, like your three characters are within a triangle of each other, like which you can still move when you're in a once more again. You can everyone will be caught in like a basically an all-out attack, and usually die, maybe, or at least like most of their health. And yeah, one was about doing all that in one turn, so I was sort of trying to knock people into position because some were really out of the spot. But because both Makoto and Yusuke had a once more, they both could do a triple threat. So I was trying to check the movement. So I was moving her one way, and then going, okay, so we triple threat this way, that'll cover that guy. But if I move him afterwards, because he still has a turn, then I can get the last two. So, which is like it's good that it's like not once per all turns; it's like once per each character that it can activate it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the little challenges are good for practicing the mechanics of it. Although it is the you can't pause on the enemy's turn to just like go to retry, and when you retry, you have to go through all the dialogue again,
Yeah, oh,
which for one of them was a lot.
yeah.
I don't know what's up with that. I don't know how you make a game and like constantly mess up these basic quality of life things like not letting you skip this, like unless it's just I can't find the right button because I press this must be skip and then it just turns fast forward and I'm like that's not it.
Oh,
Um,
I don't know what it is on. Yeah, I don't know what it is on Nintendo. But now that you say that, the three line button, like I had to, I could.
okay,
There was one that I kept.
I'll try the minus button and see if that's it then.
Yeah, or what am I looking at? Maybe the plus button because like when
The
I'm
plus
looking at the
button
control.
just made it fast forward, so
Oh, yeah, maybe it's the
I
minus
was
then
like
because
I thought that was a skip, but
I had to hit the options button twice to bring up the skip, and then you hold down the button for like 2 seconds, and then it skips.
okay, maybe I just was impatient. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hopefully, because like oh, it was so annoying. But then it's
yeah,
still annoying that like you mess up on the like the one turn things, and then you gotta wait for all the characters to do their turn because you can't. You can fast forward it, but not pause it to just reset. And it's like what?
yeah.
Why?
The one thing
But
I do like about the setup that they have is that uh, the move, like you can move your character around. So what when it's your character's turn, it kind of shows like the area where you could go,
yeah,
and you can kind of just run around wherever you want, and then basically just put your character where you want, like where you want the attack to be from.
yeah,
And I find that nice, so it's not like in a lot of tactics games, like you if you move your character to a
yeah.
spot, then it's like, well, no, you're done. That's it. You've
As
already moved them.
It's
It's
like
like
when I
you're out of
played
luck.
Echoes, I sometimes I'd use the turn wheel on like I just misclicked. I was like, no, I was just trying to see, and then they've committed to the spot.
Yeah. So it's
But yeah,
nice that there's no commitment.
like I said with the what do you ever call the triangle attacks? I forget. Anyway, but whatever those are called, you yeah, you can position, you can like move other any characters that still have a move around, so you can figure out to try and get as many guys in it as possible.
Yeah. Well, it definitely provides incentive to make sure you knock down the character with the first one, like with the first turn or the first character, so that you can move those two around.
Well, that's like
They're
you got to use like where those big guys where you have to attack them so
oh,
that they
attack
come
them
out of
once.
cover,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then get the second person to shoot them so they get knocked down. And so they're constantly getting triple threaded because that's
Oh
how you
yeah.
deal with them.
Well, the I really cheesed that the triple threat attack in the Ryuji Haru
Yeah, that's
uh,
the one. I think
rescue
that's
one.
the I think that's the one I did in 3 turns out of 8, and I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah, it was the same because because basically they're kind of entrapped in this like square. So if you can get all the characters up onto, there's like containers, like those big like steel containers or whatever that you find on 18 wheelers. There's basically four of them, and they're circled around the area where all the enemies are. So you just have everyone run up to the top, and then as long as you can knock someone down, then you can effectively, get the three to pretty much encapsulate everyone plus the flag, and then you kind of one to two shot the level. So
Yeah, it was like the most trouble I had was like Ryuji like zapped Joker, but he could still do stuff. So it's more just like, hold on, we're trying to. take the objective. And yeah, there's like a little variety of objectives because you've got to take down the flag as the main thing, and like then you beat the level, or you're escorting somebody who can't fight at all. And like I said, the quests are more the unique ones.
Yeah.
I've heard things about the game is that like the pacing's a bit weird because like apparently the first world's the longest even,
Oh,
and that there's not that many worlds, which I don't know how many there is. Because like if they say not that many, I'm like, so does that just mean like 3 or 4? Because in the trailer footage we've only seen like 2.
oh,
I
really?
don't, and that
Yeah.
yeah, they seem to get shorter, and that yeah. So some people say like it start like I think a lot of reviews like it sort of starts out really promising, and then it's still like a good game, but it's just like they expected a bit better because then yeah the pacing got like shorter, and maybe the objectives didn't get more as varied, and like some people were talking about even the music too because I like the music, but yeah, it's very much like this is definitely like the new ones are definitely more. This is more Persona 5 music because
Yes.
they got to go with the theme. But I do like the new battle theme. And now I've got to wait for they should make another because I've got the Persona 5 Royal vinyl. I want to order the Persona 5 base game vinyl, but that's like $220.
Holy moly.
Hopefully they do a spin-off one, and then they give us the Strikers and the Tactica cheat. Just they should just do one with all the Persona 5 spin-off game music. So
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they'll
maybe
make
not the
money off it.
dancing.
So
That's other people talking about. Persona 5 dancing came out before, like I think any, or at least maybe like one of the other spin-offs. So it was just remixes of just the base game songs, and they weren't even that good. So
oh,
they should have waited until like there's yeah done it last or something.
yeah. Well, there's a couple songs from Royal that are kind of like my favorite songs now of the series. So there was
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I think my biggest disappointment of Tactica is just the kind of lackluster environments. Like they don't there's nothing too unique about uh, like anything really. Like you hide behind boxes and you can hide behind walls and stuff, but you in the first world at least, maybe I don't know, maybe it gets better in the other worlds, but the first world is just it's just streets. Like you're not there's nothing like unique about the
yeah.
anything in the background or anything.
Like I said, it's no Mario plus Rabbids, but
No.
you can't compare it to that. But it's still yeah, it still is yeah. Just it's streets and barricades and forts and yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
and it's the like you said the objectives are kind of like tactics tropes where it's like protect this character and get everyone to this area. And I guess like the kind of capture the flag mechanic is probably the most unique, like those levels where it's like, okay, there's all these powerful characters and you have to attack the enemy's flag and replace it with your own. Like that's those levels I find interesting. Also, they're usually the levels at the end of like a story though too. Like
Yeah,
every time you like the game starts off where everyone gets brainwashed, and so the first like kind of boss levels I guess are fighting the Phantom Thieves and
uh, the first time where you're getting chased by all of them, I was like nearly dying, and it was like really scary. But then they weren't that threatening when it was like fighting the two of them. Like when
yeah.
that one early one where they're chasing you, it was like oh my god.
No, the only one I had any difficulty really was the Makoto Yusuke, and it was mostly
Um,
because I was like indecisive of because there's like two different ways to get to the flag, and I
yeah,
couldn't decide which way I wanted to go, and so I like kind of. And then the other problem is I that was the first time I had access to Haru, but
yeah.
she's really slow. She only gets like 4 steps where everyone else gets like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then it's like the flag is far away, and I'm like, man, I should have chose someone
Yeah,
else because
that one
she's
was
slowing me
like
down.
because you can't triple threat the flag because it's on the edge of the map, and I was like, oh, this is so
Oh,
rude.
yeah, that was the other problem.
So I put 2 people to the right side, and Draco was on his own on the left, so he was just getting murdered by by everyone on that side. Like he didn't even make it up the steps. But so that was the one where I baton passed like twice because we just, But we did clear out the regular enemies because the Phantom Thieves brainwash they get up after 2 turns,
Yeah.
and then we just had to shoot the flag because there was no other way to really effectively deal damage.
Yeah. Well, I had knocked out Makoto, but unfortunately, I knocked her out at the base of the ladder, so I couldn't bring two of the characters down. And I'm like, oh, come on!
Can you knock down your own teammates?
I haven't tried,
I don't
so I'm
know
not.
because it's an attack, so probably not.
Well, you could knock enemies into your teammates, I
Yeah.
guess that way. But
Yeah. I had the problem with a challenge mission where it was like I knocked them and now they're just in the way of the next place, and I was like, oh, and I got to start again.
yeah,
I can't move. Yeah, so that one was a bit tougher, but it was mostly I should just put everyone together probably and dealt with the getting flanked instead of trying to go through two paths. Yeah, because I went from this is too easy to like, oh no, I'm too stupid for this.
yeah. I would say like the difficulty's low, but then I guess where it becomes more difficult is like you said, trying to get the three. Usually, it's like trying to get it in the amount of turns that are required to get like the three objectives. Because it's annoying when you miss it by like one turn and you're like, oh come on. I missed it once because it was one of the levels where you had to bring everyone to a certain spot, and Morgana at the end of one turn I could only put Morgana right next to where we were supposed to go, so I had to use up one more turn to put them in. So I
Yeah.
failed. I missed the objective because I was like one step away. I was like,
Mm.
but no, it's pretty fun. You're gonna keep on going. I'm guessing, eh?
Yeah, I might play some more small saga first because that's just shorter. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm liking it so far, and but it's just sort of balancing different RPGs that it's
Yeah.
like on the Friday I played 1 hour of Persona, 1 hour of Mario, and then yeah, back
I
to
de-
other stuff.
I definitely want to defeat Marie, which is
Yeah,
spelled Marie. The way they pronounce it really throws me off. But at the very
um,
least, yeah, I want to see what happens to finish
well,
that
I
dungeon.
guess
So,
I'm kind of I know someone whose name is spelt like Marie, but you say Mari, so it's like I
oh yeah,
guess yeah, it's just I mean,
it's the
nowadays
A at the end that throws me off.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
now the end of the names nowadays, where it's like people giving their kids the literal spellings of their names, or like the normal way or worse, and then they know you're meant to pronounce it the normal way, but it's not spelled the normal way. It's like
Yeah,
so. Yeah. I guess it's just the first area is supposed to be French, so I don't know. Maybe that's how they say it.
yeah, yeah. All I know is it doesn't bode well for me, who can barely pronounce very standard names to be as it is. It's just going to get harder as time goes on, especially as I get older. But
Where's
yeah,
the
I guess.
whatchamacallit?
Sorry.
Like, where's the whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
The Peroni.
But yeah, I guess that'll take us into our second game of the year discussion. So in the last episode, we had let everyone know that this year we're not doing a ranked numbering of games this year. It was just too difficult. Too many good games in 2023. It's definitely been a banger year. So we're going with just kind of a bucket of 10 games that we think stand out above the rest. So Jordan and I had talked about the first two, Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16. So that was the first two games in our top 10 list. Or yeah, I guess you could still call it top 10 list. But we got two more for this episode. And I'll let Paige talk about why uh, why she chose this Nintendo game that's coming up. I was To me, it's funny. I haven't played the game, and I know Jordan and Casey both did, but I was still shocked that you were the only one who considered putting it in in the top 10. But you could tell me why you definitely think it deserved to be there, and I'm sure everyone listening is probably going to be shocked when they hear that this almost missed the cut.
Well, I mean, I haven't even beaten most of the games that my potential, or played some of the ones on this list. So, and technically, Tears of the Kingdom is one of them. But
Yeah.
it is one of the games I've put over 80 hours into this year and would actually recommend other people to play. Unlike the A Wonderful Life remake, which I wouldn't really. So yeah, there is like one flaw, I think, which and when it comes to we're just doing top 10, but I mean, not I don't think in any particular order, but when it comes to something like Game Awards and stuff, I definitely don't think it's gonna make it this year because Baldur's Gate 3. But
Yeah.
and one of the big flaws of Tears of the Kingdom is the narrative. Once again, doing that memories thing and the copy paste sage speech is just, and they're really like they don't care about consistency. This Nintendo, they're like, so what if stuff doesn't line up with the last game? But it's about the gameplay, really. It
Yeah.
wouldn't kill them to actually bother with their stories, but you're not really playing Tears of the Kingdom for it. You're playing Tears of the Kingdom so that you can stab crawling cave gremlins and get scared by trees and be too scared to go near a forest. I really liked that they did. I mean, they had to do new enemies. They would that would have been so bad if they didn't. But I really like a lot of the new enemies, such as the Horriblins. I think that's what they're called, and I can't remember what the trees are called. I'm saying Evermean, but I don't know if that's actually what it's called or what people, like actually, because like a lot of people are calling something Gloom Hands, but I think there's like an actual name in game for them, things like that. And the depths is really cool. I like just it's basically a mirror of the map of the base games. It's more than twice as big as the original game. They changed things up with the stuff going on, so like there's no lava in Gerudo Valley. Things not Gerudo, Goron, Death Mountain,
Oh yeah.
and they gave us some proper story segments with the like the sort of the dungeons. Although, yeah, see now I'm just like, see I'm saying all this like, yeah, it's in the top 10, but also here's all the bad things about the game. Like, the dungeons weren't really like they were really short. Like there wasn't. Although some of them I kind of consider the way to the dungeons was sort of part of it. Like the
Yeah.
way up to the Sky Temple was like this little like section and segment, and that did feel like it was part of it. So it's a bit longer when you consider that, and like the same for the Gerudo Temple. But
Did
and
you
and
did you get into the construction stuff much? Like all the crazy contraptions?
yeah, a little bit, not too much. But I did like just some flying things. I didn't do the really crazy stuff. Maybe if I need some resources, I'll get some of those death machines.
Yeah.
That people have made where they just like cage them up and push them in water and things like that. But
Did you
yeah,
crucify any Korax?
no. I did have a bit where I was like doing the Koroks on the horse like thing, and then I went past. I was carrying like two different Koroks, and I learned that you cannot give Koroks to wrong friends. They have to go to their original friend. So, um, but yeah, I definitely the highlights for me is like one, the actually having a proper dungeon, like the bit of story that you get there, getting to see everyone after the fact, Pura being back to sort of her original stuff, getting to know the characters more, seeing the world be more alive than Breath of the Wild, which is really funny because everyone thought it was going to be darker and all this, but like this is the more hopeful one, really. Like everything's sort of becoming better and more populated. Like there's fashion trends going on. That was a really fun side quest. Although then again, that's a negative point because I can't wear the cool. I get a really cool hat, but I don't get the same fashionable mushroom outfits that everyone else does. I just get
Oh, yeah.
this. just get this really nice hat, but not the other stuff. Yeah, that's like the whole fun little side quests and stuff. Like you get development of like the characters that you've seen before with the Tarrytown, like seeing that that's grown, things like that. The guy holding up the sign, like I love all the little extra things you do, like the guy holding up the signs and you got to help him. Yeah, it's just a fun little extra stuff. There's no guardians too, so that's nice, you know.
Yeah. Where do you
can
fall on
relax.
Breath of the Wild versus Tears of the Kingdom?
I think Tears has just got more to it, really, you know.
Yeah.
And the boss fights are different. They're not just.
So it's an apples and oranges thing as opposed to
Plus,
one better than the other?
yeah, yeah, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But then again, you can't use the Wolflink amiibo the same way because in the Breath of the Wild, you could summon him as a little partner, and like if he played Twilight Princess HD and did the extra dungeon, he'd have more hearts, so he might survive a single hit, you know. But they just, I guess, because Tears of the Kingdom isn't on the Wii U, they took that out. So now you scan him, and it's just a pile of meat drops from the sky, and you're like, "Oh no,
Oh,
my
that's awful.
Like obviously it's just like he brought the meat, but you know, like that's
Yeah.
you first see, like what the hell?
Yeah.
Because a bunch of the Link amiibos will give you fish because they're just like fish. They've been fishing.
Now, can you wear your Switch T-shirt in Tears of the Kingdom?
No, see, you can't wear a Nintendo Switch shirt playing a Wii U game, so it's actually it's
That's
not as good actually.
There you go. Disappointment.
But there is just so much fun like little things to do that. And yeah, the different enemy types and stuff because it's still a little lacking, but definitely the Breath of the Wild was when you compare it to
Yeah.
this now. And yeah, more options of ways to do things. So like if you're not super into the combat, you just grind around a bit and make a machine to take care of
Do the work.
it.
Yeah.
And it looks like apparently we're not getting DLC, so I guess I'll have to get back to it and finish it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there's nothing to wait around for.
I guess they figured they had enough content there.
Yeah, well, this is probably like most of their ideas they had. You know, like stuff that they couldn't go into the first game.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there wasn't too much more. Or, you know, like I said, they seem to have they don't care about doing the lore or putting much effort into the story, so they're just like, oh, can't think of anything. You know? Maybe they just want to work on something else for once.
I was gonna say they probably want to work on another, like Switch 2 is probably not that far away, so they
Yeah.
probably want to make sure they got
wanna,
a Zelda game
they want to
early
make
in the
they want to make a Triforce Series 2. They don't want to make another
yeah.
open world Zelda.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's still really fun. There's a few letdowns and stuff, but it's still like it's really good. I put 80 hours into it, and you know this is my first year of having a baby, so that's pretty good for an action game. You know, because
Yeah.
it's not quite as easy to put down and pick up. But there was a point where I was in the depths for so long that like when I went up in the surface in the game, my eyes did that thing like when you're inside a dark room and you go outside to the sun.
Oh, the iris is opening up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like with a video game, just in the video game, I've been underground in the dark for so long, and then I come up to the fake sun, and I'm like, ah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think I'm just up to the bits where I was just like, because I'm up to an escort mission, so I sort of put it down for a bit because I don't like the controls of that section. But I think I'll just like wait for a blood moon and then clear the area and try to just cheese it a bit.
Yeah.
And it is funny because you can finally go things out of sequence, but that you couldn't because I found this like area where it's like sort of this final bit, no, not final bit, like the bit before you like you don't have to do it, but like this final thing you can do before you go take on Ganon. And I found the area, but I couldn't do anything with it because I had to go to another area and progress the story and stuff. And Link gets like a lot more outfits, and that's cool. And the abilities, I didn't even talk about the abilities. I do miss stasis so much, actually. Like, I can kind of do without the ice blocks and the magnesis because I've got something that's basically that. But I really miss just, like, pausing an enemy and then wailing on it and making it fly in the air. I miss that so much. But yeah, and I was trying to beat the Age of Calamity before that came out, and then I didn't manage to do that. And then so it's like 2 Zelda games this year that I haven't finished. But yeah, the other abilities are good. So what have we got that we have the moving stuff around and gluing stuff together. The the recall, yeah, that's it. That's good, especially with the getting on the sky things. But I do miss one of the Breath of Wild abilities. And I guess one of the other things I was hoping that would be in this game would be underwater stuff, and there really wasn't. It was just the depths, and there wasn't even like some cool bubble of water in the depths or something. There was like none of that. And I find the sage thing kind of annoying. Mostly I don't like how they look. I just wish they were the actual people following you and not their spirit, like a clone spirit of them to help you with
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So I only keep the one that helps you fly better around, like glide boost. I don't like them otherwise. Oh, and there was like one fight that I was not prepared for, so I put them all out so I survived. And then I kind of feel like it's cheating, but it's not really cheating because they give it to you and you can have them all out at a time. So like, because it's literally an inbuilt game mechanic that you get through the story. So even though I feel like it's cheating, it's not. It's meant to be there for you. It's like the turning it off is more of like that's the option really, because by
Yeah.
default they try to turn themselves on. So um, yeah, like and yeah, I don't know what I would give. I'd probably yeah, like 8 to 9. I've never given anything a 10, and like I said, there's definitely some things where I'm just like, but I still think it's really good, and like it's up there with some of the games. But because of some of the basic, and it's got some of that emergent silly gameplay stuff like you can do in Baldur's Gate 3, where you're like, oh, can I like put this and this together, and then like, and you can, you know.
Yeah.
But in comparison, it doesn't reach the heights with the you know character depth. It's pretty lacking.
Yeah.
um, but it's definitely really fun.
Yeah.
And
Like
that's
if, like you
what
said,
games
if
are
it
about.
was, yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the important thing. Fun game.
Us.
Yeah, I would. If, like you said, if Baldur's Gate 3 hadn't released this year, I think it might have had a shot at Game of the Year on the Game Awards. But
Yeah, I don't think it does now.
no, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to run away with a lot of stuff this
Yeah,
year. Yeah.
that's why like I need to do my list of what I think's going to actually win in other categories because that's
Yeah.
always fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess the final game that we'll add to the list, the fourth game for this episode, is I would say the greatest redemption in video game history. When we're talking about going from the second to the first, because our fourth game on our list is Octopath Traveler 2. So this is a game I don't even know if I was necessarily going to pick it up when it first came out because I hated Octopath 1 so much. But man, did Square Enix ever get it right on the second one? Fixed all the things that I didn't like with the first one. Mainly being that the characters actually make eye contact, talk towards each other, converse. It's not just one-liners into the ether. There's actual story that all comes together. The exploration of the map is much more natural. Like it's you could Octopath 1. I don't want to be crapping on Octopath 1 for this whole Game of the Year discussion, but
but in
Oct-
comparison,
yeah, but in comparison, Octopath 1 was just a big circle. You just walked in a circle around the map, picking up people, and then you did the circle again, and but this time, yeah, it was. I remember like I picked up Throne, or I started off as Throne in this one city, and there's like two continents, so I was exploring the eastern continent and having a good time, picking up friends, helping them with their quests, enjoying the banter between the two. Like it was great. There was and like I said, I'm sure they took the criticism to heart because they actually had literal cinema moments between each characters
yeah,
to
it
even
was
build
like they
upon.
added sort of like not party chat, but it was like little side things for the two characters, wasn't it?
Yeah, and and like every character had their own quest that they were on that you continued throughout the story and came to conclusions on. But then there was three like sub quests, I guess, where they had quests together. Like I believe it was. I can't remember who. There was like three combinations of the two of each character, and there was like that. There was a quest that kind of had multiple layers too. So you had essentially like 9 different stories that you were building upon throughout the game. And some of them, the way that they basically kind of, I wouldn't say gated, but kind of gated in the sense of like the quest had like your recommended levels to be in order to get through it. So that was kind of the natural way of kind of hand holding of like well, maybe you should go do this or go do that or whatever. So
Well, some areas had like a sign. Like, I just played the demo, but it was like some areas had a sign like "Be level this to go in here," and yeah, you'd find out very quickly that you should definitely listen to those signs.
yes. Yeah, there's definitely some areas where it's like, okay, you can't go here until you're near the end of the game because
Yeah,
you're just
it's
going to get wrecked. So
it's not a matter of like being able to. Some games you can get away with being underleveled in an area. It's no, you will get stomped.
yeah. Yeah, and it's just, I mean, that combat system is one of the best in art, like the turn based. It's one of the best ones that I've played. It's the evolution of turn based is just works terrific. There wasn't a whole lot I didn't like about the game, so and I haven't even really gotten into the way it looks. Like the 2D HD looks incredible. Like it's a very beautiful game. So definitely, again, this would have been my my game of the year if Baldur's Gate 3 hadn't released this year. But I guess that's a bit of a spoiler for one of the games later on the list. But yeah, Octopath Traveler 2, terrific game. I would say to anyone who hated the first game like I did, don't not play this because you didn't like the first one. It's not even in the same sphere. It's just completely different. It's way better.
Well,
Definitely worth playing.
hopefully, maybe early next year, I'll have time to play it before the February. We got I got November RPGs, and we got February RPGs, so it's like only a couple of months to try and catch up on stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think my only January pickup's the shortish games, so I'll be able to like maybe finish something from last year in between that.
Not gonna play Persona 3?
Oh,
It's
I thought
January, isn't it?
I thought it was February.
Oh, is it February too?
Let me have a look. I don't know.
I thought it was like end of
I haven't.
January.
It could be. No, 2nd of February.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I should have it finished. If it's February 2nd, I should have it finished before Rebirth.
Yes.
That's Rebirth is my big game for next year.
Well, we'll talk about our games for next year, I guess, closer to the end of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was thinking, things that came out really early in the year that a lot of people have forgotten. One of the ones I didn't put on my game of the year, even though I really liked it, was Fire Emblem Engage, because
Oh yeah.
that one I spent about 2 months playing, basically. That I'd probably give like an 8. I just think, I definitely give Tears of the Kingdom it over Engage.
Yeah.
It's just, well, they're kind of not really comparable games, really. Like, there's nothing. We're not really. Okay, the only thing wrong with Engage was also the story. Very meh. Very like, oh my god, like really. Some of the stuff it was like bad. Not Fate's bad, but it was bad.
Yeah.
But the gameplay was really fun. The graphics are massive improvement over Three Houses.
Yeah.
So that's a game that came out this year to not forget about.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure many people will give it a game of the year. But...
No, there can only be 10, and it didn't make it. There'll be other 10 more.
So what
there'll
you're
be
saying
other
is, I need to like go on Smash Bros and put representatives of the 10 games and in a tournament, and then see who wins by that. I might have to make some Mii fighters for some of the games, but we'll.
Yeah, you'll have to find a way to get what is it, the silver haired vampire?
Yeah,
to represent Baldur's Gate.
Well, it could just be a Castlevania character.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess. Cool. So I guess just to summarize, 4 of the 10 so far: Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, Tears of the Kingdom, and Octopath Traveler 2. So you'll have to tune in to the next couple episodes to get the final 6. So we'll have those coming up.
What was my other one? Where's the list? I don't remember what I picked.
Oh,
maybe I did talk about something that I did put and I've forgotten.
Yeah, you had a lot of Nintendo games on your list.
Okay, so
I'll say it that yeah.
I'll find it.
Nintendo will be represented on this list. There's still plenty to come from
I
them. So
just don't want to say like I talked about Fire Emblem and then I'm gonna like click on the list and then I did put it on the list and I'm gonna be like, oh no, I just said it's
no.
not.
I'll put the list in the chat soon. But no, I can confirm that
Okay,
there's no Fire Emblem on the list.
we're like cut.
Yeah, no, but yeah, upcoming episodes. So we've got planned an episode on In Stars and Time. Apparently, I have probably another 10 to so hours to go in that one. So I'll need a week or two to get through that. Once that's done, I'll be getting back to Star Ocean 2. So we'll probably have an episode on that. I know Jordan's playing that one, and I'm not sure how. Are you very far in that one, Paige?
No, it's the
No.
same problem with Octopath, right? I played the demo on the Switch and then I got the PS5 copy and now I'm like, oh, like I know it's only 2 hours, but it's just like,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I might be doing the just playing 1 hour of each RPG at a time, and after I beat Small Saga, that's my.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I don't. We're finishing up, so I won't talk about it. But I have been playing another game where you're a bipedal mouse wearing clothes. So
Okay.
yeah, that one's been actually eating up some of my time because it's just like it's the Backpack Hero. It was in the Indie World presentation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's because it's a roguelike. So it's just like I'll just do one run. I just do one, just, and another one, and another. Like
Yeah.
do it this time.
Yeah, so that's some of the games that we have look forward to as we start to wrap up 2023. And yeah, I'm sure we'll do a game of the year wrap up too as well later on. So look forward to that. But in the meantime, I would plug Paige's YouTube channel. So there's
Yes.
an In Stars and Time review
Yes.
there, as
Let's watch
well
that. That
as
doesn't. It only has like 20 something views, so it's a bit, a bit of
yeah.
a drop from the last video.
And if you want to watch Paige's takedown of Fashion Dreamer, that's still racking up the views too.
Yes.
So yep, check those out. But otherwise, I guess I'll thank Paige for joining me, and we'll see everyone out at the next Thirsty Mage. Bye.
Bye.